Well, Elie Wiesel went through and into hell on earth. He went through the full torture and incredible life-destroying experience, as is described in his incredible memoir, Night. And yet he emerged full of love and compassion for the people, for the survivors, for the victims, and really for all of humanity. So he was never driven. In fact, he points out that this is one of the characteristics of the survivors. They never sought revenge. They never sought to express rage by victimizing others, but rather it was a challenge now to stop it, to make sure never again would this evil be inflicted on anyone. So he avoided self-pity. He avoided the natural tendency to turn inward after such a terrible experience. And he understood and he taught that all dignity, all human dignity, is interwoven and interconnected. And therefore, years after he had survived the camps, he went to Cambodia to help them in the moment when the Khmer Rouge were committing genocide. He went and spoke in Rwanda. He went and spoke up for Bosnia when there was a destruction going on there. In short, he was motivated and driven in good measure by his own suffering and the tragedy of the Holocaust and the Jewish people to make a better world and to increase the quota of love and conscience in the world we live in. I have to say he was a deeply Jewish person. Of course, he was persecuted and suffered because he was Jewish, but that Jewishness expressed itself in a remarkable way afterward, what I call the unity of religion and ethics. Some people are deeply religious, but don't connect it to ethical responsibility. In Elie's case, the Jewish religion was a source of devout connection to God, but it was no less the source of a driving force of conscience and ethics and responsibility for your fellow human beings. That Jewishness expressed itself, interestingly, by the way, in the fact that he spent most of his life as a teacher and as a teacher of Jewish literature and Jewish learning of Hasidism and the Jewish religious spirit of the tradition. In other words, he didn't want to be, by choice, he didn't want to be the full-time worker or a teacher either of Holocaust or Holocaust memory, as central as it was to his life and to his work. He felt that we have to place the greatest premium on life itself. And this is what you do as a Jewish person. You try to recreate Jewish culture, Jewish religion. He was one of the great Jewish teachers of our time. In the same way, he was deeply devoted to the state of Israel. For one, because he felt that every potential victim in the world has and should be given the power to self-defend. He felt the state of Israel was this act of self-defense and of assuring that the future could not again be inflicted upon the Jewish people. But he felt that therefore the Jewish experience should be applied to everyone. Therefore, within Israel and its connection to Israel, he stressed its exercise of friendship and responsibility to its neighbors, to its insistence upon upholding the dignity of human value in the face of 70 years of terror and persecution. And of course, he took the same experience and he applied it in calling for the people of the world, for the nations of the world, for the United States of America, to intervene, for example, in Bosnia to stop the genocide and to uphold the right of self-determination. So his own most intimate and personal and Jewish experiences were universalized automatically and instinctively. That was the depth of his heart and his spiritual strength, and applied to everyone in the world. Wherever someone is in danger, he said, there is where my focus and there is my obligation and responsibility active.